everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to, apparently, Seeing My Hats. Welcome to the Best of 2019. We have two more videos to do. Today's the second last one, where I just go through some of the games from 2019 and tell you what I think about them. Hey, we are getting really close to Dice Tower Kickstarter, so keep an eye out for that. That's only a few days away, starting this coming Monday. But right now, even though today is January 2nd, 2020, and we're in a new decade, a new year, a new excitement, we can still go back and look at 2019. But here's the thing. When everyone talks about 2019, they talk about the big and the grandiose games. And the small games sometimes get left in the dust. And so that's what we're going to do in today's top 10 list. We're going to talk about smaller games, not necessarily tiny games, but smaller games, and my favorite 10. And at the end, you can tell me what I missed and what I should talk about. You ready? Here we go.
Number 10.
My number 10 is a small two-player game and actually has one of the best names, I think, of a board game that there is. Just Fluttering Souls. Fluttering Souls is one of a few Butterfly games that came out this year. But this game from Good Games Publishing, which is always a very dangerous thing to call your company, because had the game been bad, it just leads me to some obvious conclusions in my review. But in Fluttering Souls, you're going to place the cards like it shows here in this diagram, and some of them are face up and some are face down, and you're just drafting them between two players. Very similar to Seven Wonders Duel, but this is a lighter game. The cards give you various points based on how you draft them, and then there's one card that you can kind of switch in and out. So it's a very light game, and even though this is a very pretty mat, which I wouldn't mind owning, you can play the game it's almost small enough to play like at a very small restaurant table that you could play. I shouldn't say almost. I know you can play it on a restaurant table. And so this one's easy to carry around, a small box, and it feels a little bit different. And it has a light, frothy theme with the butterflies. All good all around. My number 10, Fluttering Souls.
Number 9.
And party game here, number 9. This one's pretty small, and that is Medium. Medium is a game where you try to read the other person's mind. You each have a word that you're given, and you are trying to find the medium between those words. So if I give you a word, clipboard, and my word is doctor, and we have to find a word, and we'll say 3, 2, 1, prescription. That better be what you have said. But if you didn't say prescription, maybe you said paper. And then our next two words are prescription and paper, and we count 3, 2, 1, and we try to think of a word that matches those. That's the whole game. That's really what it is. It has a weird scoring system that you could skip for all I care. The idea and silliness of the game is by putting these words together, and it's a lot of fun, and you might match more than you might think. So my number 9, Medium.
Number 8.
So there's more than one company out there right now. Leader Games, I'm sorry, all their games have 4 letters in the titles. And they're not the first to do that, though. Next Move was the first to do that. Except Next Move made this game have 4 numbers in the titles, and that's 5211. 5211 is a very simple card game. You got someone who likes to play Uno all the time. 5211 is a way to do that, where you're going to draw 5 cards, play 2, then 1, then 1. And you're trying not to play the most colors, or you want to play certain colors. And chameleon cards has a very distinctive motif to it. This is a game that kind of came out to almost no buzz that I could see. I like it. It's very light, don't get me wrong, but there's more decisions than you might think. Has, again, very pretty cards. One to check out, 5211.
Number 7.
Number 7 is a weird little game. It's also a weirdly little titled game, and that's Oh Fox, which I feel pretty confident. Probably it was named purposely. But anyway, in this game, one of the players is the fox, or they're another creature, and everyone else is different living creatures. You know who the predator is. You don't know what kind of predator they are, and everyone else and you know what the different people, the different prayer, but you don't know who they are, and everyone is programming their movements around on this little board. It's really cool. You program all your movements, and then you play it out and see who wins and scores. The Predator has a slight advantage, for sure, but at the same, and you can see what moves everyone's making, but there's always the chance that there's a wrong move, a changed move. It's a very funky, weird style game, but it's small, light, and feels different. And your kid will get a joy out of shouting the name. So that's O Fox number 7.
Number 6.
Number 6, this was an easy one to add to the list for me. Like I said, I like drafting games a lot. And this one, you are drafting meeples. Not many of those. This is Asaurus, little dinosaur dudes. That's a pretty cool cover, but the game is a lot different than that, actually. In Asaurus, you're going to be pulling dinosaurs out of a bag, and you're going to look at them in your hand. You're going to keep one, pass them around, and then you place them in your little dinosaur zoo, scoring points based on where you place them. Very simple, very easy, very interactive, very quick. Great theme, great components. It's a great package. Definitely one to check out. Ankama is known for a lot of their bigger games like Crossmaster and the Monster House game and stuff like that. But this one should make more people's list just because of how small and simple it is. It is a lot of fun. If you've not played it, recommend Asaurus.
Number 5.
Number 5 is another two-player game. It's a quick back and forth style game, and it's asymmetrical, which I like. Now, I don't condone breaking the law, but it's super fun in Getaway Driver. In Getaway Driver, one person is running from the police. They're driving around the board with their car. The police have a bunch of police cars and blockades and helicopters and things like that. Excuse me. And you are both just trying to outmaneuver the other person. The police officer is trying to, well, not outmaneuver, but to catch the getaway driver. The getaway driver is trying to use different maneuvers so that they can get away from the police car driver as they drive around. I love the motif of the artwork. It's fantastic. It definitely gives you that 50s vibe, James Bondish style. The driving the cars around, it feels unique and clever. It doesn't feel like any other game that I played, and it's small and simple and easy to carry around. Just a great game in a little package. That's Getaway Driver, my number 5.
Number 4.
It would be weird to have a top 10 small games and not put any roll and write games on the list. Now, I don't actually have a ton of them on the list, and this may be the only one, actually. Oh, no, it's not the only one. This is one of 2. On the list. Actually, technically, this is the only roll and write game on the list. I should probably just say what the name of the game is, and that is Cartographers. Cartographers is not a roll and write game either, is it? It's a flip and write card. It's a flip and write. It means you flip a card. And in this game, you'll flip a card, and it will show you a type of land, and then it will show you 1 or 2 different terrains that you can put that land, and then you need to draw it in your area. And you can see the little map there where people draw it, and you fill it in, and it feels like you're making a little map. And every once in a while, a monster card will show up, and then you get to draw on someone else's paper and totally mess them up. And it is really entertaining that way. You're trying to surround monsters. You're trying to put terrain. There's going to be different scoring cards. This is one of the best roll and writes out there, actually, or flip and writes, whatever. The artwork's great. It's set in the role player universe from the game Role Player. Also, Lockup came out this year from them. But this one, I'm just very enamored with it. I think it feels like you have more freedom than most of these type of games do, because you can put your thing anywhere on the map. But it also feels intuitive. It feels just where you place things, it kind of just flows. It's very smooth transition as you put them down until you draw a monster on someone else's paper and then mess them completely up. But I like it. I think it's really a neat style game, and that's my number 4, Cartographers.
Number 3.
We often talk about filler games, games that you play in between bigger games. I need some time to rest between Big Giant Game A and Big Giant Game B, so I play a filler in between there. I also will mention a filler when I'm hungry and need to eat something. Actually, I don't call those fillers. But come on, work with me here on my transitional. Number 3 is Filler, which is a filler game about filling pastries and things like that, which usually I'm not a big fan of these kind of snarky names, but this one works really well. In this, you are a cook making food. One of my favorite themes. And you are waking up early in the morning and you're playing cards from your hand to get other cards in your hand. You play one card from your hand to say what time you're going to wake up. The earlier the better. Of course, if you play an early time, you're probably wasting the good things that that card will give you. Cards will give you resources that you need to buy other cards, and cards also will give you victory points at the end of the game. And every once in a while, you just have to pick up all your cards in a turn rather than place them out. Simple game, really fast. It's a really small game. Green Couch games come in really tiny boxes, but they're often very good, and this is one of my favorite from that company. That's Filler, my number 3.
Number 2.
All right, here's my other roll and write, or once again, another flip and write game. This is not only my favorite one from 2019, but it is in the running for my favorite of all time of this genre, and that is one that's in my bag right now, actually. I just took it to a meetup, and that's Silver and Gold. Silver and Gold. This is a game in which you have some sheets which will show up on the screen there. They're cards, and you actually draw on the cards with these erasable markers, and you're going to be flipping over other cards that show you, again, Tetris-style shapes. Then you're going to fill in your island as fast as you can. And different places you fill in might give you bonus things. There's coins, and X marks a spot, and palm trees, and all sorts of things. And then when you fill it in, you'll get the point shown on the card, and you draw some more. Some cards give you bonuses. It's really simple, really fun. This one I've had such great success with. It's the kind of game that I think if you play it, you'll play it again right away. Again, it's in a small package. On here you see the German version. The new version is from Asaurus Games. Highly recommend it. To check this one out. Most of these games I laminate myself. This one, pre-laminate it for you, which means replayability here is endless. A lot of fun, and like I said, one of the best of this genre, Silver and Gold.
And finally, number 1.
Number 1 was an easy pick for me. This game is actually one of the larger ones on the list box size, but the game inside is as small as the rest of them. But it is easily in my top 10 most played games of the year. And it's another name that tells you what the game does and what the game is, and that is Point Salad. Yummy, yummy. So in Point Salad, you are trying to collect different vegetables, and on your turn, you take 2 vegetables or you take a point card. Point cards and vegetables, they're on 2 different things on the same side. And so different point cards might say, if you have the fewest peppers, you get 7 points. Or you get 1 point for every pepper and 1 point for every tomato that you have. And so you're trying to figure out which point cards you want to grab and which vegetables you want to grab. Every game will play different because every card in this deck is a different point value. They're all different vegetables. It's really easy to play. As soon as you're done, you'll want to play it again. It scales well. It has to do with vegetables, so it teaches kids to be healthy. That part I'm making up, but the rest of it is actually quite true. The collecting the points and the things. I'm telling you, I taught this at Dice Tower Convention this past summer, just over and over and over and over and over and over again. It went smoothly every time. Really, really enjoyed it. So this is one of those games I think almost everybody should have in your collection. It's that good. So Point Salad, my number 1 of small games. Alrighty, so what are the games that I did not mention? Tell me, and I'll quick tell you why they did not make the list. Again, this is subjective for one thing, but also, I just can't fit every game that comes out in a year in the top 10 list. So there you go. Lots of great small games come out all the time. They just don't get as much positive buzz because the bigger games tend to overshadow them. That's life. That's how it is, Arboretum. Did Arboretum come out this year? I think Arboretum came out a couple years ago. I think it's a fantastic game, but I think it came out a few years ago, or at least last year. So that's why that one wouldn't have made the list. What else you guys got? Tricky Tides. I don't think I played Tricky Tides. Rome I did not play, unfortunately. Rome is in our Dice Tower library somewhere. I mean to play it. It's on my list of games to play, but Sam played and reviewed it, so I'll get to it eventually. Have I played Tiny Epic Mechs? I did. Not really a big fan of that particular game. I did a review. You can see it. Sushi Roll. I would not call Sushi Roll a small game. It's a fun game, but the box size is like this. That's more of a medium game. Shipwreck Arcana? Do you mean Raz Arcana or Shipwreck Arcana? I don't know what that game is, actually. What's the requirement to be considered a small game? In Tom's head, he considers it a small game. That's literally it. The Crew is a 2020 game. It's not out in English yet, so I'm considering it 2020, which is why that's not mentioned. Sprawlopolis. I don't think Sprawlopolis came out in 2019. I know the version from Quidditch came out in 2019, but I think the original Sprawlopolis came out the year before. I have not played Push, and that's 2018, like you said. Arboretum did have a new version last year. Okay, that's probably what happened, right? The new version came out. I actually played it and enjoyed it a lot. I don't know that it might have made my top 10, though. Maybe. Let's see. What else? I must have did a good job at covering these small games here because Flip City did not come out this year. Nope. Flip City came out like 4 years ago or something. It's been a while since Flip City's come out. Nagaraj I didn't play. Z played that one. Any good micro games this year? Well, I think you could consider Fluttering Souls a micro game. It's pretty close anyway. Filler is pretty close to being a micro game too. I don't know what you consider to be a micro game though. It's the same thing as a small game. Arion. I haven't played Parks, but Parks is not that small of a game anyway. Parks is a medium-sized game. I've seen the box. Blitzkrieg? Yeah, Blitzkrieg is close to a small game, right? It's in a box. It feels like just shy of being a small game, maybe. Letter Jam, same thing. I think Letter Jam is just shy of being considered a small game in my very, very, very exacting is it a small game poll that I run in my head. Ultra Tiny Epic Galaxies, I don't think that came out this year, did it? Microbrew, that one I have not played. I've heard good things about it. The Wiggles. Who said I ever watched The Wiggles? Yummy. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's that for that. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. We have one more of these coming tomorrow. Top 10 artwork in games. Also, Jason will be here tomorrow giving his top 10 games of the year, so you can come by and make fun of him there. Other than that, it's time for me to get going and work on our Kickstarter and our top 100 games of all time, which is happening next Monday. I'm very excited about everything. I'm excited that you guys came along for the ride. It's been a wonderful year. Happy New Year to everybody. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching the top 10 small games from 2019.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.